speeches. He led the civil rights movement with strong beliefs of freedom and with others by his side the whole way. Dr. King's death shocked people all across the world, as y'all know. Martin Luther King Jr. was born and raised in Montgomery, Alabama. He was born on January 15, 1929. As a young man, he loved to read books. He was determined to exceed his knowledge to the highest level. He went to school and got his PhD. King also studied religion, which gave him the passion to do speeches, such as his famous speech, "I Have a Dream." Dr. King learned that violence will not solve any problems. In March of 1965, Martin Luther King Jr. led one of the many marches held for the voting rights. There were more than 25,000 people taking part in this march. As a leader of the civil rights movement, King and his friends marched for 5 days straight. Later that year, the President of the United States of America signed the Voting Rights Act. The law made it a whole lot easier for African Americans to vote. In Memphis, Tennessee, on April 4th of 1968, Martin Luther King Jr. was shot. The bullet struck Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. in the neck. His friends pointed to the killer as he tried to escape. Dr. King died an hour later. He left behind his wife, Coretta Scott King, and 4 beautiful children. As the world was made sad by his death, more than 50,000 people attended his funeral. The funeral lasted more than 8 hours, and the words "free at last" are on his gravestone. Martin Luther King Jr. believed in freedom and equal rights. He changed the way people, both African American and white people, look at the world. He made the world a better place for all people. Martin Luther King Jr.